Hello! Today I shall fix this DS earpad because I pulled on it and the cord ripped out.
Good luck.
So the first thing we'll have to do is open it up, which is just some simple plastic tabs. So by prying on the edges, we can pretty easily get it open. Usually there'd be some felt around as well, but that fell out for me. As you can see, the wire is just broken off, so I'll have to remove the old bit and attach the new one, right there. There we go. Okay. With my newfound wire strippers, I am now able to cut away at the insulation in order to reveal the inner wire, which will be needed in order to resolder. Now begins the task of actually having to separate out the wires and twist them so that they are easier to solder, which is a little tricky, but I got it done. I'm going to have to cut these a little bit more to length because they didn't quite fit as shown there. The ground wire is going to have to go at the top, and they're a little bit different length. And so now I'm just doing some final trimming and twisting of the wires in order to get them to be ready for soldering. I'm going to start by removing as much of the old wire as I can in order to make it easier to put the new wire soldered on. This is not required, but it makes it a lot easier and less cluttered in the solder pad. I'm going to trim off the little non-electrical thread that was used to originally fish the wires through the cable, and then align to see how long I need to trim them to fit. And so now I begin the process of soldering, but as you'll see later, I kind of start with the wrong wire, or at least like with the wrong idea. It'll get to that. I'm just going to add some extra solder because there isn't enough and it's difficult to get the wire on. And try to remove the old wire a little bit. A little tricky. Apologies for the poor lighting scenario. Hopefully this helps a bit. And now for the struggle of getting the wire to stay put in the solder and attached to it, of course. And there we go. Now it's in the solder quite good. Now just to hold it in place until it dries. And now for my favorite way of listening of music, old classic iPods. This is an iPod mini 2nd generation from 2005 that I recently acquired. I love installing Rockbox on these old iPods as it gives it a lot more functionality, and personally my favorites are the grayscale screens because, you don't really need much more for music listening. And this allows the screen to be on all the time, just without the backlight on, which doesn't consume much power, and you can just take a peek at where you're on the track. To test, I'm putting on some of the Duck Game soundtrack, which is some of my favorite music. I've got my HD remaster I'm working on right here. So there's time coming out of this, and there's time coming out of this. When the listening experience. Cool. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that the way I've soldered the wires was fundamentally flawed, and later I tugged on the wire and the green wire just fully broke off. So I'm going to have to resolder this, but with the stronger ground wire being the thing that the tension is going on to. And now for the actual soldering. This one shouldn't take nearly as long because I had a bit more experience from the first one, but it still was quite tricky, so I'm going to speed up through it a little bit. Just a little strength test, and then it seems that we're good to go. I'm just going to resolder the second one to make sure that it is not going to get pulled on at all. And we're good. Now it should be safe from tugging. Here we have my iPod Classic 4th generation grayscale, and the song is Trinity from Versus Rewrite. And with that, I've been Othello 7. Have a good one.